make the stitch looking text. So let's create a new document. It will be full HD, and then we will bring our texture, which is the jeans texture. You can find it in the source file, and then you are going to stretch it to match it on the full HD document. After that, you are going to lock it so we don't accidentally select it. We need it as a background. So select it in the layer style, in the layer panel, and then lock it. Now go to the file. We will create a new document. This document will be for the new brush that you are going to make. Use these settings, 27 and 5 pixel with 200 resolution. Fill this with black color. I'm going to the adjustment effects and use the solid color and choose black. Let me remove this white one. Now if you go to the edit, we can define a new brush. Define a new brush and name it Stitch. And now if you go to the brushes, here you can find the stitch. The next thing, we are going to the settings of the brush and we are going to make some adjustments here. So for the angle, we are going to change this, make it 90, and the roundness, make it 50. Also spacing, make it somewhere around 98 or 100. And then the shape dynamic, in the control, make it direction. Now we can save our brush. Sorry, you have to click on the burger menu and the new preset. Stitch 1 is good. Click OK. Now we made this brush. We are going to create another one. Sorry. Go to the brush settings again. But don't forget, first you have to choose the stitch brush, not the stitch one, the stitch. Then go to the settings, and now we will make some other changes to make another preset of this brush. Increase the size, the spacing to 700. And then go to the shape dynamic, make it direction. And we are done. Go to the burger menu and save the brush. We name it Stitch 2. Now we can close this document. We don't need it anymore. And now we'll create our text. I'm using the Cuckoo Goose font. You can use anything. And I wrote a circle. I will make the size bigger like this. And now you will add some layer styles. Double click on it and go to the stroke. We are going to make the color black. And then I'm going to play with these settings to see what will work. We only need a border for this text. So I think, okay, let's keep it, the position, keep it inside. And the blending mode will be normal. The size, make it 5. 405 will be good. Press OK. And now right click on the text, convert it to the smart object. Double click on it to bring back the layer styles again. We are going to give it bevel emboss this time. Make it inner bevel, the style. The technique will be smooth. And the depth, make it 190. The direction will be up and the size, make it 10. And the softness will be 0. The shading, use the global light 90 with 30. The gloss contour, use the first one. For the highlight and shadows, change the blending mode for the highlight to the overlay and make the opacity 100. For the shadow, it will be multiply and the opacity will be 40. Now go to the texture and we are going to use this one. And the settings, the scale and the depth will be 100. If you go to the drop shadow, so you'll change these settings. The blending mode will be multiply, keep it like that, and increase the opacity to somewhere around 80 or 79. The angle, let's change that. Okay, 118 is good. The size, bring it to 0 for now. Or actually, let's increase it a bit. 3 is good. Okay guys, so the size will be 3, distance 3 and spread 0, and we'll keep it like this. Let's go to the inner glow. Let's change the blending mode to the normal. Let's play with the opacity. 53 is good, and change the angle. Minus 57. For the distance, make it 2, and the size, let's play with it and see what will work for us. I think somewhere around 5 or 4 is good. That's it. Let's go to the color overlay. Let's change the color. Something grayish. Okay, you can just copy the color code that I'm going to use. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to find which color will work for me. You can copy the last one, so you copy this one. Press OK, and that's it for the color overlay. Press OK and convert it to the smart object again, and then we are going to duplicate it, Command J, name this shadow and bring it down, and now double click on this one. We are going to add some more styles to this one. So the first thing we are going to add is inner shadow. Bring the opacity down. 34 is good. And the angle, let's change it and see what will work for us. Okay, 140 is good. The distance 3 and size 5 is good, and choke will be 0. Let's go to the bevel emboss. We will keep it at the inner bevel. Technique will be smooth, and depth, let's bring it down to 63. Direction will be up. Let's increase the size and see. Okay, we'll keep the size at 16. The strength will be 0. For the shading, disable the global light, and the angle will be 30-20. Yeah, just make this one 30 and this one 20. For the gloss contour, we are not going to change anything, but for the highlight and the shadow, we are going to play with the opacity. For the highlight, it will be overlay and opacity 86. And the shadow will be multiply, and the opacity will be 58. Let's go to the color overlay, and here you will choose the color that we want. Change the blending mode to the color and choose any color that you want, because this will be the main color of the text. I'm just trying to find something that will look nice on this jeans. I'm actually not sure which color to choose. Okay, I will go with this one. Press OK and keep the settings as it is. Opacity will be 100. In the gradient overlay, we're going to use this gradient. Change the color to white. This one also change it to white. And for this one, we are going to change the opacity from 0 to 100. Then press OK. Change the style to the reflected. And the blending mode, let's see, soft light will be good. I'll just play with the scale and see. And the opacity, make the opacity somewhere around 72, and the scale will be 96, and that's it For the layer style, press OK. Okay, that's nice. Let's add some effects. I'll go to the filter, noise, distort, and then use ripple. And use these settings that I'm going to use. So make the amount 25 and the size small, press OK. This will distort or ripple the lines that we have. I will add the noise filter as well. Go to the filter, noise, and add noise. And we are going to change this to 2. And the distribution will be uniform. Okay, perfect. Now we are good. Let's go to the shadow. I will bring back bring down the fill to the 0. Double click on it and add bevel and emboss. And use these settings. You can also add the drop shadow if you want. Use these settings and press OK. Now we will create a new layer for the stitch, and we are going to use the brushes that we made in the beginning of this lesson. I will name it stitch. And now go to the circle, comment and click on it to make a selection of the text. Now go to the path, click here to make a path around the text. Then go to the brushes and you are going to use the stitch one. And then you are going to change the size for the brush. We will make it 40 or 50. And now the blending mode will be normal. And the opacity for the brush will be 100. The flow will be 100. And let's choose a color. We will choose a color close to the text color. And now go to the path and click here. It will generate the stitch. Now we can delete the work path. Right click on it and delete it. So the next thing we are going to do is to add some layer styles to the stitch. Okay, now go to the stitch layer, right click and convert it to the smart object. Then double click on it to bring in the layer styles. We will add the drop shadow and follow me and use the same settings that I'm going to use. So for the opacity I made it 81 and the blending mode is multiply, the color is black. And the angle we'll just find out what will work for us. Make it 118. The size will be 0 and the distance, let's make it 1. For the quality we'll leave everything the same. Go to the inner shadow. Change the blending mode to multiply. And then you will change the opacity to 100. And for the angle, let's see what will work for us. Okay, 42 is good, and change the size to 0 and the distance to 0. Also the choke will be 0. We will not touch anything on the quality. Let's go to the bevel and emboss. Enable it. And let's change the depth. Okay, 105 is good. The direction will be up. Let's see the size. Make the size 6. The softness will be 0. And the shading for the angle, let's use this 90. It will be global light 90-30. And for the highlights and shadows, let's see what will work for us. I brought down the opacity to 24 for the highlights, and the blending mode is overlay. For the shadow, I will change the color to a bit very dark gray, and the opacity will be 74. Then go to the color overlay, and we are going to choose a color. This color will be over the stitch. Change the blending mode to multiply. Okay, and then we are going to change the color. It will be like white and a bit toward the red. I'm just trying to see what will work for me. And you can copy the final result. Bring down the opacity. Okay, 96 will be good. Press OK. And like this, we are done with our stitch style text. Okay guys, I know at the beginning we created 2 stitch brushes and I thought we were going to use it somehow in our design, but we didn't use it. But if you want, you can use it for your design. You can just make a stitch around the text on the jeans background. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.